Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the Universal Temple for the Sun, Planet, Moon, and Stars. I'll be your host, Lord Masiah. And tonight we're going to go into self-determination. What is self-determination? And I pulled up some search on on the Google search and whatnot. And we're going to go into some definitions, meanings, examples, references, and so forth to, express, what is self-determination, So let me get my, let's get the volume right real fast. All right, so let's go. I'm going to read this off here. And I'm going to go back and break it down. All right. So, all right, Bob. Okay, so it's going to be a big screen still, whatever. All right, so I'm going to go back to the original page. All right, I'm going to start reading this on from here. Self-determination.
Self-determination. Noun. The process by which a country determines its own statehood and forms its own allegiances and government. The changes cannot be made until the country's right to self-determination is recognized. The process by which a person controls their own life. Services for the mentally ill should aim to promote individuals' capacity for self-determination.
Pause. Okay, so the process by which a country determines its own statehood and forms its own allegiance and government. So now, now that sounds good on one behalf, but then it says the changes cannot be made until the country's rights to self-determination is recognized. So now, because some people be like, oh, we don't need no recognition from nobody. We can just do what we do and da-da-da-da. But I'm like, okay. That sounds good. But at the same time, I guess recognition means you do want to be recognized by other nations, for the fact that, they do their own thing or whatever, da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? It's like even in the streets and shit, you know what I'm saying? Certain gang members and shit. People know not to fuck with them because they like, yo, them niggas on some bullshit. Them niggas be on some crazy shit. Like, them niggas, you know what I mean? Them niggas go crazy on you and shit. So they know not to even fuck with them niggas. Like they just in their own jurisdiction, their own, you know what I mean? Got their own way of life. They do what they do. People do what they do and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you determine yourself to be, self-sufficient and have your own allegiance to your own government, then, it says, the country's rights has to be recognized by other countries, I would suppose. So hence, this is why I'm working on the self-executing treaty. And I'm going to present that to the United Nations and to all nations. Like what we got to understand too, man, is that a nation is not just like, you think of like United Nations, like America, China, Japan, there's different places and shit. Like a nation is a nation, a group of people who are collectively operating under one plane of thought. Coming together for a common cause. Dealing in social equality. So, that's a nation. So, for example, the nation of God's earth, or Allah's 5% nation, is a nation. The Nation of Islam is a nation. The Nuwapian nation is a nation. The nation of Israel, the Hebrews, Israelites, they are a nation. Regardless of whatever their theology or philosophy, whatever it may be, these are all nations. And all of them had the right to self-determination. They have the right to basically make their statehood known. And one of the ways that you do that? Through what's called international customary law. You know what I'm saying? International customary law. And international customary law is basically where a nation of people or a group of people make their customs so present in the community or so present in the society that it's respected as law. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, you always use, Jewish people as an example because they are people who do have like a lot of recognition for their self-determination. You know what I'm saying? So when they walk around with their culture clothes on, their yarmulkes and all that, and they do their practices and all that, people respect it because they know that they are an internationally protected class of people. So you gonna think twice about harming one of them because police gonna lock your ass up. But if you harm just an average so-called black person, we don't have any nationality or international protection. So therefore, it's just like, oh, two niggas were fighting or whatever. Oh, you don't want to press charges? All right, whatever. Well, we're still going to pick it up. The state is going to pick up the charge because you people are our property anyway. And whoever started the fight is considered to be the one who damaged our property. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to pick it up. And the only way the person, not the only way, but the main way that the person could get the case dismissed is if the injured party does not show up. That's called lack of injured party or lack of corpus delicti. So know that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you get into altercation, the person don't show up in court to press the charge, especially on the last day of the trial, then the case has to be dismissed due to lack of injured party. There's no one here to represent a claim. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it says the process by which a person controls their own life. You know what I mean? It says services of the mentally ill should aim to promote individuals' capacity for self-determination. Services for the mentally ill should aim to promote. Yeah. So in other words, like they say, so like like if a person declares themselves to be cognizant or whatever, you know what I mean? Then like don't try to label them or put some kind of mentally ill label on them. Like let them determine their own life. But anyway, so the process by which a person controls their own life. And yeah, one of those ways of doing that is by managing or planning your estate. What is your estate? Your estate is all your property, everything that you own. So what do you want to manage that? When do you want that to be under your control? When do you want to control your own life and everything that you own and possess in life? Yeah, it's called self-determination. So let's continue. So, all right, let's go here.
Self-determination. Definitions from Oxford Languages. Feedback. Translations and people also ask, what does self-determination mean? Self-determination, the process by which a group of people, usually possessing a certain degree of national consciousness, form their own state and choose their own government. Self-determination. Definition, history, and facts. Britannica. https://
I like that one right there. It says is defined as the personal decision to do something or think a certain way. You know what I mean? Even Jesus said in the scripture, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? So, freedom of expression, freedom of thought, freedom of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? An example of self-determination is making the decision to run a marathon without asking anyone's opinion. The ability or right to make one's own decisions without interference from others. All right.
What does right to self-determination mean? Self-determination denotes the legal right of people to decide their own destiny in the international order. Self-determination is a core principle of international law, arising from customary international law, but also...
Pause. See what I'm saying? Arising from customary international law. And it says the legal right of people to decide their own destiny in the international order. So this is why declaring a nationality is so important. If you do not have a nationality, you do not come into the international order of things. You know what I'm saying? You remain a stateless people. Remember when it said up here, the right to determine their statehood? If you don't determine your statehood or your nationhood, your nation state, what your nationality is in the jurisdiction you reside in, then you're considered just a roaming person, just roaming around. And remember, they place a birth certificate on you, social security number and all of that. And then when you turned 18 and you had the right to actually be somewhat free now, they told you go get a state ID and contract yourself right back into the state. So then, you voluntarily gave back up your freedoms. You know what I'm saying? The age of 18, some states 16, is what's called the legal age, the age of majority, the age of maturity. You know what I'm saying? And once you reach that age, you have the right to rescind all contracts. You have the right to think and be treated as an adult to make your own decisions. So at that age, you can go and rescind all those contracts, but we'd never be told to do that. They're told to get an ID so you could get a job. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of set it up systematically to trap you back into the system. You know what I'm saying? So you don't think about self-determination. You know what I mean?
Also recognized as a general principle of law and enshrined in a number of international treaties.
Pause. Also recognized as a general principle of law. That's what I'm saying. When you show and prove, like, for example, like the gods and earths, we've been around for decades now saying peace, 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 God, peace, earth, peace, queen. You know what I'm saying? We've been wearing our crowns and the queens wear their head wraps. You know what I mean? The queens, the earth's dress in 3/4. You know what I mean? They have a particular style and custom of dressing, and we speak a language known as supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet. We have a language, we have a national flag, we have a national headquarters, we have parliaments where we go and we discuss our lessons and build on nation business and, show and prove the things of our culture. So we have our own right of self-determination, and we've been manifesting our right of self-determination. So all of these things that we've been doing become what's known as customary laws. They become our customs. The way we greet, the way we speak, you know what I mean? The way we carry ourselves, the way that we hold parliament, the way that we handle situations, how we do in the cipher, you know what I mean? So all of these things are known as our customs. And these are respected. So, for example, if you got a few guards on a site in a cipher and they're on a street corner, we are not to be looked at as a ganging up on a street corner, stopping the flow of traffic or interrupting the flow of public or disturbing the peace. No, we're in a cipher and we're out here teaching people, and we're actually interacting in society in a positive way to bring about a positive atmosphere in our communities. So that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that should be looked at as a very positive thing. And those are known as our customs. Those are our customary laws, our customary, ways and actions that are recognized as a general principle of our laws or how we conduct ourselves. So, you know what I mean? Like you hear Papa Wu talk about how many times he done spoke to the police and got brothers out the back of the police cars. You know what I'm saying? When the police was trying to arrest young brothers, he would go and speak the wisdom and be so sharp and educated, you know what I'm saying, and speak to the police, and they let the brother out the back of the police car. You know what I'm saying? Because they respect the fact that this older man is coming to speak on behalf of these young men and letting them know that, no, this man's he's not a bad kid. He's not, you know what I'm saying? He might have been in the wrong place, wrong time, maybe hanging out with the wrong people. But no, this young man, no, he's one of us. He's a 5%er. He's a righteous young man. He's studying. He's striving to do the right thing, officer. You know what I mean? No, don't ruin this man's life by putting something on his record and whatever he may have said to him. But, he may have said something responsible to that officer, something righteous enough for that officer to let that man up out that car. See what I'm saying? So anyway, that's just like, things within our nation and things about us that show and prove that we have our own sense of self-determination and our own sense of law that we implement. The true and living gods, we implement that. So what I be trying to teach and what I be trying to say is that we can take these customs that we have already and have them internationally recognized. That's all I'll be saying as far as these proposals or declarations or treaties and things of that nature that I'll be drawn up. It ain't no, well, we got to tell the white man that. No, this is how all civilized people do things. You know what I'm saying? Everything is done through communications. You understand? Nations communicate. Even before countries or nations go to war with each other, they have a sit down. You know what I'm saying? And they talk the shit out before they go to war. And if they can't find a result or resolution, then they resort to war. But before they just go and start dropping bombs on each other and just going crazy, no, they sit down and they talk about it. They communicate. You know what I'm saying? Remember back in the days, you used to learn about the wars and how a country would send another country a telegram, you know what I'm saying? And they'd be like, hey, this is what's going on and this the state of affairs. And, listen, we don't want war, but if you guys keep, testing these bombs and sending off this radiation in the atmosphere, which is against the policies of the United Environmental Protection Agency, whatever the hell, then we're gonna have to interfere in a way where we're gonna have to stop you from doing that. See what I'm saying? Because other nations may have treaties where they come together to say, yo, we're not going to do things that harm the environment. And if there's any other people harming the environment, we'll come together and we'll see to that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just how things happen. So until you get yourself into the point of having a military or having some kind of structure or infrastructure where you can stand and have power to say, well, I agree or don't agree with this or that, you're going to be a subject people. And you're going to be told what to do. And when the police or whoever roll up on you and they're an authority to tell you what to do as state property, then that's how it's going to go. Now, yeah. We got a couple of us that always want to talk that hard shit. Oh, nigga, police ain't going to tell me to do shit. Yeah. We got a couple of us that stand up and try to be tough, but come on. One person versus the whole goddamn precinct? Come on, man. Let's be real. And all the people you think going to help you, niggas is not going to help you. So, and that's not no scary talk. That's reality talk. And I always give reference to Sister Soldier. She said something one time that really stuck with me. She said, yo, man, I used to be out there pumping the fist, talking about black power. But then I look behind me and ain't nobody behind me talking about no black power. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, I had to take that under very deep consideration because we be out here wanting to be Mr. Freedom Fighter and wanting to stand up for the people, but the people don't even want to stand up for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be that that person trying to stand up for the people, and then when the so-called authorities come, niggas want to break out and leave you standing there alone when you were standing up for all of them because they didn't have the courage or the power or the wisdom to stand up for themselves. But yet here you are now stuck out there by yourself against whoever. You know what I mean? And the situation falls on you because you want to stand up and be the freedom fighter. Not saying you shouldn't be, but be wise about who you want to stand up for. Because the motherfuckers ain't even going to stand up for themselves. I ain't put myself in a position for your scary ass. So I put a quote up. I'm going to end that and I'm going to go back into this after I say this. I put a quote the other day. I said, why should I risk my life? Why should I risk my life? Why should I be brave and risk my life for you to live your life in fear? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, man. Like, you know what I mean? What I'm gonna sit here and be Mr. Brave for you and risk my life for you, and then I die, and all you do is still gonna live your life like a fucking coward. You're not even gonna martyr me. You know what I'm saying? You're not even gonna say, yo, man, this man died for me, man. This man stood up for me, man. You know what? Fuck that shit. I'm gonna stop all this fuck shit in my life. I'm gonna change my ways, man. I'm gonna do something better and more righteous, man, because yo, man, this man put his life on the line for me, man. I gotta honor this man and respect this man. Niggas ain't even gonna do that. So the fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? Standing up for motherfuckers ain't gonna stand up for themselves. But anyway, let's go.
What is another word for self-determination? Find another word for self-determination. In this page, you can discover 15 synonyms, antonyms, idiomatic expressions, and related words for self-determination, like initiative, independence, sovereignty, self-sufficiency, self-government, self-rule, autonomy, natural rights, statehood, legitimacy, and privilege. Best 15 synonyms for self-determination, thesaurus. https://thesaurus.yourdictionary.com, self-determination. Search for, what is another word for self-determination? Who is entitled to self-determination? Article 1I, all peoples have the right of self-determination. By virtue of the right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Legal aspects of self-determination. https://psd.princeton.edu node. Search for, who is entitled to self-determination? What are the three key features of self-determination? Principles of self-determination. Freedom. They can exercise of the same rights as all citizens. Support. They can autonomously determine how to organize their resources. Knowledge. Knowledge of what has and hasn't worked elsewhere helps avoid mistakes or going the wrong way. Financial responsibility. Stable policies. June 17, 2021. https:// search, what are some self-determination skills? Self-determination involves many attitudes and abilities, including self-awareness, assertiveness, creativity, and pride, and problem-solving and self-advocacy skills. To take charge of your own life, you must be able to set goals, evaluate options, make choices, and then work to achieve your goals. Self-Determination National Parent Center on Transition and Employment. https:// search for, how do you maintain self-determination? Define success for yourself. Set personal, academic, and career goals. Keep your expectations high. Understand your abilities and disabilities. Play to your strengths. Develop strategies to meet your goals. Use technology as an empowering tool. Work hard. Persevere. Be flexible. More items.
Let me run that back.
More items. Work hard. Play to your strengths. Keep your expectations. Set personal. How do you maintain self-determination? Define success for yourself. Set personal, academic, and career goals. Keep your expectations high. Understand your abilities and disabilities.
Pause. That's real deep right there. It says define success for yourself, meaning define what you want to be in life. You know what I'm saying? What it is that you want to do in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let so-called society's goals determine what because like, for example, they gave, like, even religion, you always go back to religion because that shit to mess up my mind. Even with religion, they gave us limitation. Sinat even dropped a verse the other night, or somebody dropped a verse where they were saying about how it says in the Bible how God says no man shall be able to know how God does things from the beginning to the end. But yet there was a man called Moses who supposedly wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, and in the first sentence he said, "In the beginning." So you mean to tell me that Moses knew what was happening in the beginning? For real? Was he there? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, word? Oh, okay. Damn. That's a bad man. Damn, that nigga was really a prophet, boy. He was able to know what the fuck happened in the beginning, like in the very, very beginning. But anyway, so they told us in the beginning, and in the beginning, that gave us a concept of time or limit, because they told us that we had a beginning. No, we are an infinite people. So to put in our psychology that we actually had a beginning, that places a limitation on our mentality, and that shit travels into our DNA. You know what I mean? Because you're telling us that we have a limitation, but we know subconsciously that we are infinite. You know what I mean? So that places a limitation on us. We don't define success by somebody else's standard. Oh, like I was saying, like they tell you, oh, by 21, you should have done this, you should be going to college, or Oh, by this age, you should have your house, your home, you should be married. Oh, by this age, you should be doing this, Oh, by this age, you're gonna retire, and and by this age, you'll probably die, and like, really? Them niggas just plan out your whole life for you? Like, no, man. I see myself living to like 120, 30 years old or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't see myself dying no time soon. I'm not going to put no limitation on myself. I'm going to always see myself as an old man living to an old age. You know what I'm saying? And doing a lot of things within that time, making the time productive. You only got one life to live, y'all. All that afterlife shit. Like listen to that afterlife. There's a such thing as afterlife. Then what the hell is this right here? This ain't life? Like right now, we living, we breathing, we talking, we listening, we hear it. This ain't life, the afterlife. So after life, then there's something else. So you know what I mean, and supposedly this afterlife is supposed to be better than what's here. So then, if that's the case, if you really believe that, then why don't you just die right now? Why don't you just kill yourself right now and just go to that afterlife? That's that heaven. That's so great. I mean, like, come on. But anyway, because you know goddamn well you got one life to live. Even roaches know they got one life to live. God damn it. If you got roaches in your house, you go on the light, you turn that damn light on, them motherfuckers gonna run and hide because they do not want to die. So if they even know that, why you don't know that? Oh, we're more higher than roaches. We're spiritual beings, and when we die, we transcend into another. Yeah, all right, man. Anyway, so set personal, academic, and career goals. Keep your expectations high. So yeah, you got to set personal goals. You got to set academic goals. You got to set career goals. So personal goals is like saying, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop smoking so much weed, or I'm gonna stop drinking, or I'm gonna stop, you know, spending my money on dumb shit, you know, or stuff that ain't really, you know, whatever, you know, well, I'm gonna start, set personal goals, set academic goals. Like, you know what? Shit, maybe I should go back and take that course, man, or finish up my degree. Maybe I should go and do that training course and learn that OSHA program and get that certification. Then I could go get jobs on construction sites. Damn, you know what I mean? Maybe I should go take whatever. Set academic goals, you know what I'm saying? Things that you want to do to better yourself. And then, and academic goals will lead to career goals. Because I think, like, you should study and invest your time and mind into something that you actually like, something that you actually want to do. A lot of times we grow old and mad and grumpy because in life we didn't do what we wanted to do. We only did what was by circumstance. You wanted to be a fucking doctor or engineer, but you wasn't able to get that opportunity, so you had to settle for being, the um, laborer or the whatever, or the, doing this type of job or whatever job, but it wasn't, what you really wanted to do in life. So that can make a person, spiritually bitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what the fuck? I gotta work this shitty ass job. This ain't really what I want to do. And every time I get some free time, I really can't even, enjoy and do it because my wife is nagging me. And then like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Man. The life of a man. Man, the things we gotta deal with. You know what I'm saying? But and nobody cares about us because we as men, we always got to suck it up and just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, keep your expectations high. So regardless of regardless of whatever you're going through, keep your expectations high because you know what I mean. You don't want to shortchange yourself. You don't want to think less of yourself. You don't want to think like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm not gonna be able to do it. If I believe that I wasn't able to do half of the things that I've done in my life, then guess what? I would have never done them because I didn't think that I could. I doubted myself. I would, so you never doubt yourself. You know what I'm saying? Keep your expectations high. And sometimes, I got to hit you with the Mad TV back in the days, lowered expectations. Sometimes you got to lower your expectations too. You know what I'm saying? Because, you can't expect to have it all the time, or you can't expect to have the best position. Sometimes you might have to start off, in a lower position and work your way up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Even though you might feel entitled to be the boss, sometimes you can't always start off as a boss. You might have to start off as a worker, work your way up to a manager, and then work your way up to the supervisor, and then you might become the boss. But things have a process. It's different levels to the shit, man. You know what I mean? So anyway, understand your abilities. Understand your abilities and disabilities, right? So your strengths and your weaknesses, what you know you can do and what you know you can't do. A lot of times we try to act like we can do things that we know we can't do, and we front like we can do something, but that's not keeping it real. That's not understanding your abilities and disabilities, or keeping it real, because it all comes down to the show and prove. So if you're able to do something, if you can't show and prove that you're able to do it, then you can't show and prove it. But if you can, then you know what I'm saying, you can. So, don't be we gotta stop fooling ourselves because we wanna be in certain positions that we may not be ready for. So anyway, play to your strengths, meaning you know your abilities and disabilities, but focus on your abilities. Don't focus too much on the things you can't do, but focus on the things that you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like be more optimistic than pessimistic. As I say, keep your expectations high, but know when you can't do something and what it is. You know what I mean? But play towards your strengths, meaning focus on, like I say, the positives or the abilities or the things that you know you can do and get done what you know you can do. And then when it comes to a point where you can't do something, you have all this other stuff done to where that other problem seems even smaller now. You know what I mean? Um, develop strategies to meet your goals. So yeah, develop strategies, meaning like, okay, so as you do something once, you be like, okay, I messed up on it that time. Then the second time you did it right, and the third time, like, oh shit, I forgot to do it the way I did it the first time. Oh damn, all right. Or the last time, okay, all right. So now, all right. Now I know for sure not to do that. All right, I got it this time. You know what I'm saying? So you're learning from your mistakes, and then you develop strategies to meet your goals. So now you know how to get to where you got to get to because you know not to make the certain mistakes along that path. So use technology as an empowering tool. Yeah, use all the social medias, use all the apps, all the things that you have to your advantage. This internet, I just posted some shit. And I said, you as an original man or as an original person in general, you have the mind of God and the internet, which was created by by original man. So facts, you got your own mind and the internet. There's no excuse to not know basically anything nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's just some shit that's like, secret society type knowledge. Shit they don't even post on the internet. Like, you know what I mean? So that's some shit like that. But use technology or like, esoteric things, about nature and stuff like that you have to actually live and experience to know it. Certain things everything ain't book knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Some things you have to like literal. That's why they say wisdom is experience. Wisdom comes in time. Wisdom is experience because you have to actually physically go through something to know. That's why you gotta listen to the older people. You know what I'm saying? These young people we run around, we think we know every fucking thing, and we don't listen to the older people. And you better listen to the elders, you know what I'm saying? Because they've been there and done that. Now, some of them now, and what you got to do is just rightly discern. Some of them old people, like I say, be old and bitter, so they might give you some old and bitter advice. And that may not be the universal answer, but it may be their specific answer to your general question, or their general answer to your specific question. Because once again, like I say, people play the general specific game, especially with a female, right? You say something, you ask her something specific, she want to speak in general. You ask her something in general, she want to get specific. And people do that in general, but anyway. So last one: work hard, persevere, be flexible. Yeah, so work hard, meaning be serious about your work and get it in. You know what I'm saying? Put in that work. Persevere, meaning keep on going, but be flexible because, like, even with this stuff I be doing, all this studying and researching and doing these videos and all that. No, man, listen, sometimes I take a break, man. You know what I mean? You got to take a break. Because if you don't, then your mind becomes overwhelmed with so much stuff and all of that. And too, like I said, since I'm like the only fucking person doing this shit, you know what I'm saying? Nobody else cares about building and elevating the nation. So they claim to be part of that nation. But anyway, since I'm the only one trying to do some shit, like, other than just quote lessons and sit around and talk about what happened back in the days, um, you know, I know sometimes I still got to take breaks from stuff or whatever, and I got to ease my mind because if I don't, then, you overwhelm yourself. And that's what anything you do. You're going to overwhelm yourself. So, take it easy sometimes and be flexible. You know what I'm saying? And that's also with people, attitudes, currents, as they say. So let's continue.
What is self-determination? Give 3 examples of self-determination. If you're self-determined, you're more likely to own up to your mistakes and take pride in your decisions. Get along with your coworkers at work. Find joy in the things you do without waiting for external rewards. Set achievable goals for yourself because of your self-awareness. March 5th, 2021.
Right. Similar to what I was just saying.
2021. Meaning and example. Search for what is the main characteristic of self-determination? Self-determined behavior refers to actions that are identified by 4 essential characteristics. 1. The person acted autonomously. 2. The behaviors are self-regulated. 3. The person initiated and responded to the events in a psychologically empowered manner. And 4. The person acted in a self-realizing manner. Dec. 7th, 2006. Self-determination. http:// search for how can you apply self-determination as a student? What does self-determinate? Teach the skills and knowledge students need to become self-determined. Set personal goals. Solve problems that act as barriers to achieving these goals. Make appropriate choices based on personal preferences and interests. Participate in decisions that impact the quality of their lives. Advocate for themselves. More items. Self-determination. https. What does self-determination mean? Quizlet personality. What is self-determination in education? Self-determination is broadly defined as having abilities and opportunities to steer one's life in a direction that contributes to a personally satisfying life. Point 1. Equipping students with the skills, attitudes, and opportunities to play an active and prominent role in their learning and promoting self-determination among students with disabilities. https://vkc.bumc.org Assets, files, resources, SciSelf. Search for what is self-determination in education? What does self-determination mean for Indigenous peoples? Self-determination is an ongoing process of choice to ensure that Indigenous communities are able to meet their social, cultural, and economic needs. It is not about creating a separate Indigenous state. Right to self-determination, Australian Human Rights Commission.
Right. So when it says what does self-determination means for Indigenous people, you have article what's known as declaration, as I say, what's known as the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. The reason why I give reference to the United Nations, not only the United Nations, I give reference to our nations as well. You know what I mean? The melanated nations, or the original minded, those who greet in peace and, stuff like that. Because it shows a collective body of different nations that agree to certain things. So that's how basically, we have to be as original people as well. We have to be collective bodies coming together and agreeing on certain things. So what? They believe this, we teach that, they teach that, they da-da-da, we don't do that, da-da-da. Okay, man, who fucking cares, man? How long we gonna keep that childish shit up, man, and never really come together as, melanated people? Because every time we talk about that coming together stuff, we always make reasons why we can't come together, why we shouldn't come together, because we don't do this and we don't do that. So damn what? You go to damn work with multiple different people that don't do what you do, don't teach what you teach, don't believe what you believe, whatever case may be. Do you say, nah, man, I'm not going to work with these people. They don't do what we do. They don't, nah, man. No, you go to work, you work your job, and you fucking feed yourself and your family. That's what you do. Like, come on, common sense. So, like, stop all of that nonsense, man. We be talking a bunch of nonsense, man, when it comes to a lot of things, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's continue.
What is self-determination according to the UN? Essentially, the right to self-determination is the right of a people to determine its own destiny. In particular, the principle allows a people to choose its own political status and to determine its own form of economic, cultural, and social development. Sep 21st, 2017. Search for what is self-determination? When did Australia self-determination? Self-determination becomes the official approach to Indigenous affairs. When the Whitlam government came to power in 1972, self-determination replaced assimilation as the official approach to Indigenous affairs. Jan 25th, 2021. The Indigenous Civil Rights.
Right.
https.
The peoples of Australia are known as Aborigines, also known as Aboriginal peoples. You know what I'm saying? Ab meaning from, original meaning origin, Aboriginal meaning from the origin. So in other words, they are original peoples too. And they have indigenous autonomy, indigenous sovereignty. You know what I mean? Not the whole. I don't know if it's the whole continent, but I know there's areas there that where they have, self-determination. They rule in. Just like you still have certain native people here that have their own governments and land and all that good stuff. You know what I mean?
HTTPS. Search for what was the self-determination policy? Self-determination is a Victorian government policy commitment enshrined in legislation. The Victorian Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities Act 2006 recognizes that Aboriginal people hold distinct cultural rights, including the right to enjoy their identity and culture.
Well, let me check that out right there. The Victorian Charter on Human Rights and Responsibilities Act 2006. Look that up there. I'm going to save that for later. Pardon me 1 second, y'all. Sorry. Just wanted to put that on there real fast and look up later. All right, let's go.
The Victorian Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities Act 2006 recognizes that Aboriginal people hold distinct cultural rights, including the right to enjoy their identity and culture, maintain and use their language. June 28, 2019.
See, so in my writings, right, in my memorandum of reference or memorandum of law, I could give reference to that charter, to the Victorian Charter on Human Rights and Responsibilities Act of 2006. I'll give reference to it, or either I'll adopt that document. I'll adopt this charter. And when I adopt the charter, that means that I basically have the same legal enforcement as this charter by me incorporating it into my documentation. You understand? It's called the it's called the doctrine of incorporation. You know what I'm saying? Or the law of incorporation. You have the right to incorporate other laws into your laws. And that's called choice of law. Some people say style of law, but who taught you about that? You know what I'm saying? This brother sitting here arguing with me, talking about all this. Oh, yeah, you have the style of law. Like, man, who taught you about that? Where you learn about that from? Me. But anyway, you want to see her talk shit about me? You learning mad shit from me? But anyway, all right. So let's continue.
2019. Aboriginal self-determination. HTTP. Search for why is it important to teach self-determination? Self-determination skills enable individuals to assume greater responsibility and control. Moreover, when people with disabilities take responsibility for planning and decision-making, others change their views and expectations of them. March 15, 2019. The importance of self-determination.
Right. So, like, some of these people that be acting crazy, your ass ain't crazy, goddammit. You acting crazy to get that check. You know what I'm saying? But your ass ain't crazy. Now, if you want to get your goddamn life together, get off that medication and get out of that damn, damn situation of them hospitals, doctors, nurses, and cremators, you know what I'm saying? And ministers and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Then you'll act, get your mind right, show them that you fucking are sane, take them tests to show and prove that you're not crazy, and get your ass out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? Self-determination. And another thing is too, like Dr. Umar dropped the jewel about the parents allowing the school, allowing their children to be evaluated by these psychologists and psychiatrists or whatever. When you allow your children to get evaluated, they're going to say something wrong with your damn child. Just like when you go to the hospital nowadays to get tested for whatever, they're going to say your ass got COVID. So stay away from that hospital if you ain't really, really sick. Keep telling people that, man. And right after I tell them that, they want to run to the damn hospital. And then all of a sudden, oh, they said I got COVID. All right, well, there you go. I told your ass to stay away from there. Wasn't nothing wrong with your ass 5 minutes ago. Now your ass got COVID because you want to run down there and talk about some, oh, dude, all right, do you? That's that cognitive dissonance, you know what I mean? Where, based upon your belief system of what you've been told, you just believe that shit so much, somebody could present evidence to you and you still going to go against it and just go with what you think is real or true. Okay, do you. Next.
Self-determination for students with disabilities. 8. Search for, what are the 3 needs according to the self-determination theory Quizlet? The theory by Edward Deci and Richard Ryan that states that people need autonomy, competence, and relatedness in order to feel intrinsic motivation. Engaging in an activity due to reasons outside the activity itself.
That's deep. Autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Meaning being autonomous, saying, yo, we about to self-rule and self-govern ourselves. Competent, meaning you're intelligent enough to execute that and to express how you want to manifest that. And relatedness, meaning who is your nation? Who is your people? Who are you saying that you are? You know what I'm saying? Like who are you related to? What nation do you stand for? To say that you should be respected as a group or a nation of people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what's your doctrine? What's your jurisdiction? What's your laws, your bylaws? Like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? You got to make that known. You got to make, how we say, you got to make knowledge born. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make knowledge born. Which means you have to bring what you know into existence. In writing.
Itself. You just studied 30 terms. Psychological needs, 3 of them: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Self-determination theory flashcards, Quizlet. H. What is self-determination? Chapter 13. Self-determination. Having control over our lives in areas we value, making decisions without interference from others, and having the freedom to live as we choose. CH 13. Search for, what is self-determination? Chapter. What is self-determination in leadership? To recap self-determination theory, a person feels more motivated when their 3 fundamental needs are supported. Those needs, autonomy, competence, and relatedness, could be simply stated for leaders, Dec 21st, 2015. Self-determination theory for leaders and managers, Amy Booker, PhD. https://www.amybookerphd.com, self-determination theo. Search for, implement goal setting. Students face a number of standards. Implement goal setting. Ways to search for, what is how do you show self-determination? Ways to increase self-determination skills in students. Implement goal setting. Student, give choices. Ways to increase self-determination skills. Search for, what makes a determined person? Determined people are decision makers. They must have a decisive characteristic so they can assess a situation and decide the appropriate course of action to reach their goal. The focus is the goal. A determined person's intent is always focused on moving one step closer to achieving their goal. May 30th.
Now, determine, right? Doesn't that word sound familiar? You already know people going to go to the lessons and go like, yeah, Yaqub had a determined idea. Now, why did he have a determined idea? Doesn't the lesson say that in what year was that? Answer, was it in the year 8,400? Part of self, what year was that? It was the year part of self, not degree, not that degree. What was his determined idea? What was his idea of making devil? Answer, he was born with a determined idea to make a people to rule for 6,000 years. Thus it was predicted of him 8,400 years before he was born that he would make a people to rule for 6,000 years. So it said it was predicted of him that he would 8,400 years before he was born. So that means if it was predicted, as they say, by the 23 scientists or by the high scientists. So if this was predicted in the minds of the people, and then they seen it manifest in this, young boy Yaqub at the age of 6, you know what I'm saying? As they say, he was playing with 2 pieces of steel, and he realized one piece had magnetic and the other piece did not. And he realized a piece that had magnetic attracted a piece that did not. Then he discovered that the piece. Then he told his people that he would make a people. He told his he told his people that he would make a people that would be unalike, and he would teach them trick knowledge, and he would rule his people for 6,000 years. So now the science of that is like the determined idea was predicted in the minds of the people. So it was like conjured and thought of, conjured in the minds, and then when it physically manifested, it manifested in this quote unquote individual. You know what I mean? But it was a determination. So now, even when he was born, he was born with that determined idea in his consciousness. You know what I mean? That was traveled through the consciousness of the elders. You know what I mean? That was thought of or predicted 8,400 years before he was born. So he was born with that determined idea. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to think about yourself. What idea were you born determined with? Word is born on some realness. My acknowledgement of that, when I was 6 years old, do the knowledge, right? When I was 6 years old, I was looking at a poster of LL Cool J on the wall, and he was holding a piece of steel known as the microphone. And he was speaking to the crowd, like he was rapping to the crowd. And I looked at that poster and I got an image in my mind. I said, yo, I want to be a rapper. Yo, I'm gonna be a rapper when I get older. You know what I'm saying? Like I was inspired by that poster. You know what I'm saying? Um, like I said in my rhyme, I'm influential to the babies like a poster. While you blood sucking the youth like a vulture. My magnetic is ultra. So when I approach her, I greet with peace because I'm supposed to. That's an extension of love to bring us closer. Slavery, that's old stuff. Black people, we taking over. You know what I'm saying? So, I said, so the fact of the matter is that, like, oh yeah, when I was six and I was looking at that, post, and he was holding a piece of steel. So you can kind of draw that up. Six Yakub, 6 years old, playing with a two piece of steel, and then he realized what his purpose was at that time. So, like I said, when I was 6 years old, I realized what my equality was, or one of my equalities. You know what I'm saying? Which was that I was going to be a rapper, or more, I say an MC, a lyrical artist, and I was going to project my voice to the world. You know what I'm saying? And I've done so. And I didn't become like a famous rapper, but like, I performed shows, you know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. Been in many ciphers, rap battles, you know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. So, got songs on the SoundCloud, internet, YouTube, all that good stuff. So, like, the God, I'm well known with that, you know what I'm saying? But and if you don't know, ask about me, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like that was just me at a young age seeing what my determined idea was, and I persisted on that. And sure enough, like years later, like I got into rap and I started like freestyle when I was like 14 or so, and from there I realized that I was nice with it, and I just kept doing it, and it manifests. So and that's through self-determination, being determined, setting goals and just and doing it.
2021. Search for what makes. How do you promote self-determination in clients? Help them clarify their goals and set concrete hopes. Make sure they are the client's goals, not what you think they should work on. Be cautious of having an agenda. There might be things you want to cover in a session, but the client should determine where the conversation goes. July 25th, 2015. If I were my client, HTTPS. Why is self-determination important to Indigenous peoples? All peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they may freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development.
Pause. Right. So, that's like very important right there. So basically, you know, they may freely determine their political status, freely pursue their economic, social, cultural development. So, like, basically, nobody will be interfering in your way of making money, your way of socializing or dealing in social equality, and your cultural development, the way you choose to implement your customs in the society, which shall be respected as a general, as a general law. You know what I mean? Known as customary law. And then, like I say, when we um, make our knowledge born on an international forum and become internationally recognized, then we could just go about doing what we do in a way where, it's going to be unmolested, uninterrupted, no interference. But you have to declare that, though, you know what I'm saying? Because if nobody knows who you are, and then you just walk around like, yo, we are so and so and so and so, and then you get into a situation and you're trying to tell so-called authorities like who you are, and they like, well, we don't have any record of that. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, you guys are in a situation, we got to handle this the way that we handle shit. You know what I'm saying? So like they don't know. You know what I'm saying? So what you expect them to do? So this is, so but yeah, I'm gonna get into a real deep document. I was watching this old video with Brother Polite with Polite and SETI, and Polite was going in on that shit, yo. He was dropping some jewels about there's a document by damn, who was it, man? Wasn't Lyndon B. Johnson was the one who created the 501c3, which was a way of neutralizing all the religious organizations or cultural organizations and giving them funds. But when they accept these funds, there's stipulations in that 501c3 where they can't speak on political issues, um, issues that deal with nations and stuff like that. Like all they can do is talk about their religious doctrine. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you know what I mean? Which is usually like Christian or Islamic or whatever, the stuff that they want you to preach. You know what I'm saying? But if you have see like me with my universal temple for the sun, planet, moon, and stars, we're not a religion. We are a God-centered culture, and we have a philosophy. You know what I mean? Among our temple members. So therefore, this is our way of manifesting. We deal with philosophy, not religion. We deal with culture and philosophy, because our culture is our customs, our way of life, the way that we do things. And our philosophy is our freedom of expression, how we express verbally, in our literature, in our documentations, our declarations, our peace treaty, our constitution, our will, our trust. All of these things are manifest in a way where we're stating our own authority, our own self-determination, our right to basically be self-autonomous. You know what I mean? And this is all through the estate being planned for myself as an individual and for our nation. So, and when I say that our nation, I'm talking about Lord Messiah, Law L Nation. Because once again, like I say, y'all already know, as I say millions and multiple times, all of this work that I'm doing is really for the nation of God's earth. However, if y'all don't want to accept this information, y'all don't want to build on this information, then like I say, I still gotta do what I gotta do. Hence, you have Lord Messiah, Law L Nation. But Lord Messiah is a 5%er to the day I die. So that's never gonna change. So all that, oh, is he one of us and all of that type shit, like, man, get out. Don't even come at me with none of that corny shit. Y'all people already know. Those who need to know already know. Like, get out of here with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all want to stay stuck in one box, one school of thought, one way of seeing things. And a lot of times that's all you know. Not me. I'm gonna always learn from the cradle to the grave. I'm always gonna seek knowledge, and it's infinite. So why would I put a limitation? There's no ledge to knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But also you must know the ledge of your own knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowledge is infinite, but I don't know everything. You don't know everything. Everybody don't know everything. I mean, collectively we know everything, but individually we don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like we were talking about before, knowing your abilities and disabilities as an individual. Yes, you have the ability to know a lot of things, but you're not going to know everything. So know that is a disability. You will not know everything because you can't know everything. It's knowledge is infinite. So how could you ever know everything? You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally had a person I was talking to, like, yo, man, I know everything, man. You know what I'm saying? I know this, I know that, I know, you know what I'm saying? I'm studying this. Okay, bro. No doubt. You know everything. He knows everything. Okay. Okay. So anyway, let's go. All right, this is coming into about an hour, so I'm gonna read a little bit more of this, and then we're gonna call it a wrap on this one here. I'm gonna talk your ear off tonight, like I usually do. And I know the God be long-winded. Yeah, a couple 20 years, so more seconds to be an hour. But anyway, it's all good, man. Let's get it. All right, you know what I'll do? I'll save this document for next session. I'm gonna end this session here, and I'm gonna come back on the next session. This is an hour, so I'll end it here. This one's gonna be a little while anyway, so let's get it. All right, y'all. So I'll see y'all on the next show. This has been another episode of the Universal Temple for the sun, planet, moon, and stars with your host, Lord Messiah Allah, peace to the gods and the earths and all the positive people in the universe. All right, on that note, y'all, peace.